Oops, hold on. Voice settings. Oh, Osmo Pocket 3. There you go. Okay, cool. All right. Set that up here. We'll get this up a little bit higher. Put that on here. Bring this up here. All right. We'll go downwards more. Just rotate this thing. There you go. Turn this down. Okay. All right. Hello. Hey, how's it going? All right. So I wanted to do a bulb change on this V1 over here. I'm starting to get organized. I got 3 of these things I need to fix, and one is to replace the bulb. I know a lot of people are asking about how to replace the bulbs, and they're pretty easy. Maybe like 5 or 6 screws, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. 10 screws altogether, I think. So I've got 10 screws to take off the bulb and then to replace it. And really, they're already done up for you. So we're just gonna put that in there and then we'll see if it works. If it's not the bulb, then it might be the board, but no real way to test unless I try it out, a new bulb, and look at the bulb and inspect it. So it'd be another reason to kind of clean up the unit too. Since obviously this unit was heavily used, but it's still in pretty good shape. So a lot of these units kind of been like in production use, which is wild for a home roaster. So getting like bang for your buck. Let's switch to the camera. All right. As far as maintenance, you think I'll also make a good? Yeah, I think all you really need is artisan. Someone's asking, do you think it's possible to make good coffee with just using artisan without all the upgrades that you show? Yeah, especially if you have 220, you don't have to really do anything. I don't know if what is it from Brazil? Oh yes, where all the coffee's from. Yeah, if you have 220 in Brazil and you got one of these units, oh, repat's there. Okay, cool. I'm sending yours out today. I got some other ones. I'm hoping some other guy picks up this unit, but then if he does, then I can ship them both out at the same time. Just less trips to UPS. But like I was saying to Petros, yeah, you don't have to do all these upgrades. If you got 220 where you're at, don't even have to really do the fan modification. And it doesn't make the coffee any better. None of this makes any of the coffee better. They're all just safety ones, so you don't burn down your house. And it's mostly just for the 110 users. I mean, to be good, I'll say maybe go ahead and put a fan on your heatsink for a 220 volt unit, just to be safe. But you don't necessarily have to. I haven't seen any thermal runaway issues. They're usually only with the 110 units. So don't feel like you have to do all these kind of upgrades. And really, they're not that great of upgrades. They're just keep making sure you don't burn down the place. Like if you were to get a V2, it has most of all the upgrades. Although I think the V2 is a little bit of a downgrade in terms of things you can add on. Anyways, let's change the bulb on this thing. Let's bring the camera out here. There we go. I need to get a better. Get one of those fancy cameras that autofocuses better than this old GH5. All right, so what do you need to get to the bulb? Actually, I should probably unplug it. So top panel, front panel, I mean, you want to remove. And there's just 4 screws that's here, and then these are different from the other 4mm ones. They're threaded, so not like a flat at the end. But yeah, they're, I say threaded, but let me just show you. So they have two. They have this one. Oh, bitch. Give me that. So here's the main screw that they use. It's like an M4. They have a ton of them. They give you more than you actually need. I think about it as like they give you, they basically give you 1, 2, 3, 4, 4 extras of these in the back. And then make sure you don't lose these ones that are in the front. They're, because they only come with 4, and then you'd have to buy them at the store. And I don't know exactly what size they are. All right, so you pull those 4 off. Get a little tray to put all your stuff in. And this should pop right off. Good. Now, all you gotta do to take the front off is these 6 screws you gotta take off. And that uses a, I think a 3mm hex. So I usually pull the top off. Yeah, I'll pull this off. Now I'll usually just pull this thing right off right away, just so it's out the way. I'm gonna take this one off. Whoa, there we go. So basically I took this part off of here and I took these 2 screws out. They look like this. It's okay, Mike. Thanks for coming back at least. Ah, I'm glad people are just watching. But we're just doing something simple today. Just a nice bulb change, which eventually everyone's gonna have to do because you should consider the bulbs consumables at this point, and they're not covered under warranty, apparently. Well, I think they are if they break within a year. I don't know what the rules are. I feel like if the bulb breaks in like 3 months or 6 months, I'm pretty sure it's more of a bad bulb than people overusing it. Okay. If you do lose one of these, you can always you could get these screws one day shipped from Amazon, I found out. Or there's also McMaster-Carr if you absolutely possibly need it in a day's notice. Like you need your Skywalker working. All right, so I screwed this in because it kind of helps hold it in, but you just have to, let's get the top, pull that back out, and then it should just fall right out. Slowly pull back the wire. Slowly, because this right over here, this has a tendency to like scratch itself and cut itself open. I even think I got a little bit of chunk taken out of this wire, which is why they reinforced it with a little sheath over it, which I really think is just heat shrink. Make sure you get all your screws in line. This part's kind of important to get the right kind of screwdriver, because if you get the wrong size, you will, the metal's really soft on these screws. It's 1, 2, and 3. But what I would do first is I'd probably remove the ones that are holding it in, right? That doesn't feel secure. I'm very cautious with these ones. Any of these kind of screws, because they are really soft and they're a pain in the butt when they strip. Once that strips, it's kind of like, then you have to go to Home Depot or something to find a stainless steel version of it. Yeah, that should work. Oh, hell no, you better turn off. There we go. And for this one, I'm using a, this one says it's a pH1. I think it's 1, 2, and then 3. So pull this off first. Is that the one? Or is it this one? I have to look. Yeah, it's that one. Or maybe it's not that one. I have to recheck. I always forget which 3 it is. No, it's this one. Not that one. Maybe this one? It should kind of just pop open. Which one is it? That one goes there. It's not that one. Maybe it's this top one. I'm just gonna pull them all off. You're gonna find out which one it is with me. Oh wait. The plate cage is screwed. Oh, I really need to get that to you. God, I keep forgetting. I'm gonna keep unscrewing it until I find it. I had a plan going in. We're gonna nix the plan. We're just gonna keep unscrewing them. That was it. Okay. All right, figured it out. So, one day. This one, and then that one. Okay. Let me see if I could turn this light on. Don't worry, it's fine. All right. So we got these 3 off. We're gonna pull this out. Good. Make life easier, you can just remove this bolt screw right here, and that holds in the hold like these little wires that connect to the lamp and everything. could take that out. Pull that back out. You can even take out the wires, but I'm just gonna take out the screw because I always drop this screw. That's another special one you don't want to lose. And that should come out just like that. All right. So here you go. And this is the plastic piece they decided to add. It melts, obviously, because it's plastic, and they put it right next to the bulb, and the bulb gets super hot, and it usually gets more deformed than this. Especially after back-to-back roasting. I know someone's done like several back-to-back roasts when this whole thing is like pretty much melted off. But yeah. I don't know what material it is. I don't know kind of exactly what plastic it is, but it does take high heat pretty well, but not that well, but well enough to where it won't like catch fire or anything. All right, and here's the little boot. Don't lose your boot if you take it off, because they won't just sell you another boot, and you need that to kind of like protect the plastic a little bit. But usually it's like adhesed on there, so I'll just kind of pull it back a little bit. I want to say it's melted on there, but good. Now, if you're like me and you decide that you rip this to shreds because you've been heating it over and over again, you can actually use, I had a solution where I just use red RTV, and I have like a little mold online. It's somewhere on, I think it's on Thingiverse or Printables, but there's a little mold you could fill up with RTV, let it with some dish soap on the sides of it, and then pour like a bunch of red RTV in, and then set it in there, and it actually acts as a pretty decent pretty decent replacement until you can figure out where you can get one of these, because these will kind of go to shit over time. Now, let's loosen this part out. Let's bring this down a bit. So we want to pull the bulb out. So you want to take this connector off, and there's like a little thing over here. I think it's right here. You press down, and you could pull it off. There it goes. So right around here-ish, that's where you can press it down and then pull it back, and it should come right off. And it should be the same for this one as well. You just gotta move it around a bit. There we go. Kind of got to guess where it's at. Right here. Let's see if that's right here, around this area. Actually, this is a dead bulb. Why am I being gentle? pop right out. So you can cut it off or be gentle. I'm gonna cut it off because I know this is broken. And then you can just pull this back. Right there, all right. So if we take a peek at this, enhance. Yeah, broken bulb. You see where that part's missing? Let's compare. So this works, it's broken. Yeah, just this part is pretty much disconnected. Don't try to open these up and like reconnect them, because that's not smart. Not worth it. And I think it was like 25 bucks. And these are all they're like a standard size. You can go on Alibaba or AliExpress, and there's a guy who will make them to this size, even with this same fitting. They're nothing special. I think they're 220 millimeter or something kind of length or whatever. And you just, I think I have a sketch of it, and I have the vendor if anyone's ever interested in like ordering a bunch. But I did order a few NIR bulbs. I haven't really done any taste testing with them. I'm also waiting for Haha Sky to send me about 15 so I could, you know, see what the whole deal is. Anyways, from here on, I'm just gonna go ahead and just, right here, I'm just gonna clean this out a little bit. I'm not gonna even really clean the inside of this bulb, but although it has all that white powder. It's definitely, I don't know if I should be touching that. It's definitely not powdered sugar, so I wouldn't try licking it. Someone tried to convince me that it was caffeine. I'm like, I'm not gonna lick that. Oh, there's a message. Drop that vendor when you get a chance. I will. Well, there's Haha Sky. I kind of want to support, well, he's from Taiwan. I don't know if he might send it, but I just kind of want to support people like him because he's always working to improve the roaster. He also sells really fancy versions of it with like a double bulb setup. I don't know why you would need it, but you need it. Let me try screwing this back on. Now this is all loose. All right, let me make some adjustments here. Let's move this out the way. Get this out the way. Don't drop the bulb. I don't know why I put it at the edge. Let's get those screws back in. That's 1, 2, small screw, small screw. I think that's it. Maybe this one. All right, oh, and then let me get a good camera back. Bring it down here. We'll give you the lay of the land. Probe, NTC probe, that's what goes there. Just the sheath and its connector. And then this is the thermal fuse. So if you ever have an issue where you're like, oh, it's suddenly just turning off, it's reached like, maybe like it reached a certain temperature and it turns off on you, maybe like 220. It probably set off this fuse. They're not exactly the greatest, but it's supposed to be there to protect you. but they do kind of go off a little bit on the higher, like to 220 side. I think they're supposed to go off around 230 degrees, but I had a few times where it went up to like 215 and it shut off my roaster, and you got to kind of wait till it cools off so you could restart it. Some guy had an issue where it kept going off when it was heating up, so he ended up just pulling this back out and just letting it hang like loosely on here. Sometimes you get ones that are winners, and sometimes you get ones that are losers. So, and you also could go on Mouser and DigiKey, and you could buy one just like this. They're just called thermal fuses. You just got to find what rating they are. I'll keep it on. I was going to remove it. It's like a little M3. We'll use a small M3 or 3mm screw and nut. Let me see what else I could find. A small one too. Is that it? I probably dropped it on the floor. Is that it? That might be it. Nope, that's not it. I'm just going to put this thermal fuse back in place. This one. Okay, there it goes. Loosen this out so I could just straighten this fuse a little bit. There it goes. Okay. Now we just drop this bulb in. That'd be good. I'm going to pull this off. I decided I'm gonna just clean it. It's so much white stuff in there. I think it's probably getting in the way of the bulb. Okay, quartz glass, very dirty. So I'm just gonna put like a rag through it, just kind of clean it out that way, or I'll just blow it out with this. If you haven't bought one of these, things are pretty freaking awesome. Good, now I gotta get the rest out with the rag. It was on sale, Mike. I bought that on, I think it was on some Amazon sale. Or maybe it was like, was it 11? I felt like I paid 11 bucks. I might have had a gift card. Sometimes when we return things, I forget to click pay back on card and it just goes to a gift card. Don't know if I should be breathing that in. Doesn't taste like sugar. I'm just kidding, no. Forbidden sugar. You know what? Be back. I'm gonna wash this with something. I'm gonna wash it with some water. This feels kind of nasty. It's actually, yeah, it feels really nasty. Oh, but smooth. Thanks, buddy. Hey, Bailey. Oh, but excuse me, buddy. Excuse me. Thank you. Ooh. All right. Just check my dogs real quick. All right. That's where I'm gonna get this bulb in there. I'm just cleaning it out. Look how much. It's kind of better. I don't know what this stuff is. It might be bean related. I wonder if I have. Nah, it's all right. I had another one that was the Ryobi one. It's kind of bigger, and I like that one a lot too, but this one's just so much more compact, and I could fit it in the Skywalker pretty well. And then we'll take a look at this drum. How well seasoned it is. And that should be normal. And this is normal too, when you get this bean stuck in there. There's a bean that usually gets caught in the little crevice in there, or in the little areas. Man, that's why you clean it out every month. What a variety this was. I think that's all of them. When you clean this drum, don't feel like you have to like get it back to have it look in stainless steel. I was talking with someone about radiant heat and like how, you know, darker objects absorb more heat because of Planck's constant and whatever. And I think Haas guy was mentioning like, I wonder if you get a better, like maybe a little bit more conductive heat, because now the drum is darker than the bean, and that now that's adding a little bit of heat transfer as well. So there's like a little bit of conduction and radiant heat. But it only probably would happen with either a dull or a dull drum or a darkened drum. So this one's pretty darkened pretty well. This is what we consider like a seasoned drum. So I wouldn't necessarily go out of my way and try to clean it really well. Thinking I don't even know if it's a good or bad thing to have that extra kind of having to deal with radiant heat now, or conductive heat. And there's also arguments that, especially with like penetration of radiant heat, that it doesn't even play a big factor with this roaster. Okay, so we'll put this back in. I don't know how to get all that white stuff off. It's not flaking off. But we'll just, I'm just gonna put the, on the top side and then the clear side at the bottom. So this would be the top because it has the triangle. So we'll put this back into place. I need smaller hands. Let me get these Trichosaurus hands out of your way. There we go. These are threaded, so they should just go right in. Try not to strip them. Be gentle. This is when anytime I work with like the inside, I try not to use like any of the power drivers. I try not to use any of that. Although I don't know why I just don't replace them with hex. Like little, oopsie, damn it, that stripped a little bit. I should just replace them with all these little M3 hex socket heads I have. Okay, that's all clean. Sorry for the little detour I took, but let's keep it clean. There you go. I could see the little slat at the end a little bit better. And that's where like the, this part of the bulb will go fit into like a little bit of a slat that you gotta kind of put in there. And it should fit right in. Now you can see it now that I cleaned the glass. Because they're actually pretty gentle, so if you force it in, I heard you could break them. Yeah, I definitely didn't do that once. Never ever. Because I'm a gentle giant. Yeah, it just slips right in. Good. Right, fits in like that. Now we'll hook up these connectors back in. That goes in right there. And you could try putting this back in. I don't know what adhesive they use, but I'll just stick that right in there. That kind of keeps it in place, and it also fits into this well in the front panel. Where'd it go? So that will fit right in there. I gotta get my front panel. Put it down somewhere. Yeah, there it is. Put a towel over it like an idiot. All right, we'll put this back on. And if you want to, you can also just put that right in here. That's where it fits in, but I usually like to just put that here, and then I'll put this black piece on. And that's supposed to protect it. I guess I should be good and put this back on. Here's a little covering sheath. I don't know why they didn't put, they only put it on this side. I'm gonna put that in through here. Cover that. Cover this. We're gonna be dangerous real quick, okay? Just real quick. Because I don't want to put this all together and then find out it doesn't work. Because I've done that before. Don't try this at home. It works. All right, turn it off. It's blinking, so it means it's working. Okay. All right, so was the bulb. That bulb's working. I give it a minute to cool off. All right, so I verified that it's working. I'm gonna unplug it because I've already shocked myself twice. Careful with the probe. These things are really sensitive. Like if they go back and forth a lot, they'll just snap from the from this end, and then you have to get a new probe, which isn't like super expensive, but you have to get them from them because of course they don't stock a regular thermocouple. They have some like bullshit NTC one that you have to get. Like I don't even know why. I don't know, they stuck with NTC for this random NTC probe. They must have bought like a boatload of them because they refused to. Even the new Q-Bean and the other new roaster they're coming out with, they didn't even put like a thermocouple on it. They're just still using that NTC probe. Good. I'm just gonna guide the wire, try to figure out how to guide it the best. Let's do that here. There we go. Guide that through there. All right, make sure before putting it on, you gotta put this back on, okay? Because this one goes in first and then this one goes on top of it, all right? So that just slides into here. It's not hot, just warm. That will slide right into there. The hell? Why is this bent? Okay, this is a first for me. This one's bent a little bit, so I'm just gonna re-bend it. There you go. That should fit like right in there. Then you grab this thing, put it on right here. Good. Let me get something and prop it up a little bit. Goes here. That slides in there. This slides in here. Guide the wire this way. Yeah, it's good. Good enough to hold. I'm gonna bring this over here. I'm gonna guide that wire down. There. Good. All right. So I was just guiding this wire to making sure that it comes out here, because if you pinch it or you break that wire, then it's gonna cause issues. We're gonna put the screws in first just so it holds it in and it doesn't pop out on me. I swear, I'm gonna find a vendor who makes those kind of screws, but in hex, just so I don't keep stripping them. It's okay, transmitter, you're fine. All right, that's all in. Now we're just going to screw this part in. Oh, it's the wrong size. This is gonna end up being like a 3-hour stream of me trying to put this stupid fucking screw in there. Magnetize shit. There you go. Totally easy. Super easy. Never a doubt. There you go. I meant big ass stem was probably in the way the whole time anyway, so screwed that back in. All right, and it should look like this. All complete. Clean it if you want to. I'll probably put a simple green on that later, and this should just go right back into here. Let me just blow things out of here. See this part? Don't be like me and just try shoving it in. Make sure you guide it back in. Make it nice. Guide that right in. And make sure it doesn't fold over and bend and then cause you misery and pain because you get an E1 probe issue and you gotta take it out and put it back in and have a nightmare situation happen. And then this just goes back as so let me back up. There we go. Focus, enhance. All right. So put that back in here. If you want a little cheat, you can line this up here. You could push that in, turn it. Ta-da! And it can hold it for you. All right. Then you just put the screws back in. It'd probably be easier if I had to be mindful of a camera. So just be wary of that. I think anyone could do this. This should be super easy. The main things you gotta worry about is just the threads, or not the threads, the stripping a screw. That's the most common issue I have with this repair. Is I'll end up like just stripping them, and then I'll have to like figure out a replacement for them, which I haven't yet. Once I find a place on Amazon or McMaster-Carr, I will link it up and replace every single one of those screws with the hex instead of a Phillips. And this is exactly the same way you would do a V2 or Cyber Roaster. They're not that much different. Like if you take the front cover off of a V2, it's going to look just like this. There you go. That's most of it. That was pretty much a bulb replacement. I used I used a unit that had a broken controller board and a destroyed front panel, so I just took that bulb out of there. Yep, 4 of these little screws like that. 4 of those at the side, or 2 at one side, 2 on the other. 4 all together, 2 on each side. If you do have a bulb go out prematurely, I know there's supposed to be consumables, but if it comes out pretty early, like if you're not doing 100-degree preheats or setting it high and like doing roast at 95 or 90%, and it goes out in like 3 months, I would contact the vendor, because you never know if there might be a bad lot. I had to deal with that already with a couple of orders where all the bulbs were like the same issue, the same break at the same place. And I emailed them and they said, okay, there might have been a bad batch. So at least that gives them a heads up. They could like track it by serial number and see what batch it was. take this sticker off, bulb replacements. All right, let's test it out. Plug it in. See the orange glow at the bottom. Then always test it if the bulb works. So if you go like underneath 80%, it doesn't turn off the whole bulb. And then I'll check the fan. Make sure that's blowing, especially when you're preheating. Also make sure it's blowing out, not sucking in. They sometimes send it with the wires reversed. Then I'll turn that off. So fan's working just fine, a little loud, but it's okay. And then, cooling fan, make sure those work. This one looks good. I just got to clean it out a little bit, so this one I'll probably post up later. I did post a few, one unit online that had a big dent in it, so I was selling that for like 295 bucks. And if you could pick up for me, I'll even give you some beans. All right, well, that was the bulb, so I just want to keep it short with just that one issue. Took an hour to fix. It doesn't take an hour to do it. That's just me taking my time. But it should take maybe like